In this video, we're going to talk about word problems that deal with mixtures. And the way that I like to do it is I have these beakers set up. And what I do is I put each mixture in a beaker, and then your result goes in a final beaker. On the top would go the percentage of each item that you're mixing, and in the bottom would go how much, or the quantity, of each item that we're mixing. So let's go to a story problem or a word problem and see what we have. So in this word problem, it says how many gallons of 40% solution must be added to a 4 gallons of 10% solution to get a 35% solution. So we know from the first part, it says how many gallons of 40%. So again, in the top, we would put our 40. So our 40%, and we want to change it to a decimal, so we're going to make it 0.40. And then down here, because it says how many gallons, so we don't know how many gallons, this would be our variable. And in this case, we'll use an X. And then in this one, because it says added, and we're adding here, so this would be the second solution we're going to add, and it says must be added to 4 gallons of a 10% solution. So we know we have 4 gallons here, and we know that it's 10%. And again, we're going to make it a decimal. And then to get, this means equals, or what we're going to finally get, our final solution. So to get a 35% solution, so we know that the top is going to be 35, or 0.35, because again we change it to a decimal, but we don't know this. And almost all the word problems that deal with mixture, you'll be missing something, one piece, either this or this, you'll be missing something. But if we added the bottoms together, the quantities, this plus this, that should give us our total. So in this one, we would just put X plus 4, because these two added together would give us our total quantity. Once we have this set up, then what we do is we multiply straight down within each cylinder. So 0.40 times X would give us 0.40X, and we bring down the plus, and 0.10 times 4 would give us 0.4, and then again bring down your equal sign, and then on this one you have to take this 0.35 times the X and 0.35 times the 4. So actually it would look like this, 0.35, and then in parentheses would be X plus 4, and then you distribute the 0.35 to everything. So this would end up being 0.35X plus, and 0.35 times 4 would give us 1.4. So plus 1.4. And now all we have is an algebraic equation. So we want to get our x's on one side and our numbers on the other. So in order to do that, I'm going to move the 0.35 over here. So we do the opposite. So we're going to subtract. So minus 0.35x. And these two will cancel because one's positive and one's negative. And you add them together, it gives you 0. So these would cancel. And what you do to one side, you have to do the other side. So we need to subtract 0.35x on this side, which, when we subtract this, would give us it would give us point, oh, I was right, 0.5x And we want to get this to the other side, so we'll subtract that in the same step. So minus 0.4. And again, a positive and a negative, these are going to cancel. And then on this side, we'll have to subtract 0.4. And when we do that, we're left with just 1. So 0.05x equals 1. And in order to get rid of the 0.05 in front of the x, because we need x by itself, we're going to have to divide by 0.05. So, and we do it to both sides. So again, on this side, these would cancel. We would be left with just x. And then we would take 1 and divide it by 0.05, and we would end up with 20. So x equals 20. So that means we would need 20 gallons of the 40% solution mixed with the 4 gallons of the 10% solution to get a mixture that's 35%. So our answer would be 20 gallons. Oops. So 20 gallons is our answer. Now let's try a different story problem that might be set up a little bit differently. This one says, how many gallons of 18% fertilizer solution must be added to 10% fertilizer solution to get 20 gallons of a 15% fertilizer solution? So again, it says how many gallons, so we don't know. So that is our variable. So we'll put that in here. And then we know it says of an 18%. So the 18%, again, we change it to decimal, goes up top. And then must be added, because we're adding here, to a 10% fertilizer solution. So we know that, change it to a decimal, this will be our 10%. To get 20 gallons, and where it says to get, that's what our final answer. So to get 20 gallons, so the 20 would go here, 20 gallons of a 15% solution. So 0.15 goes there. And this time we're missing this piece. Last time we were missing this. This time we're missing this. In order to find this, we're going to take our total and subtract it. We'll take our total, and from that we'll subtract x. And that will give us this piece. So this is going to be 20 minus x would go there. Because if you subtract your total from this one, it should give you this one. So again, we're going to multiply straight down. So when we do that, 0.18 times x would give us 0.18x plus, and again, this one you have to take this times both of these again. So 0.10 times 20 would give us 2, and then minus 0.10 times x give us 0.10x equals, and 0.15 times 20 is going to give us 3. So again, this time, algebraic equation, add your like, or combine your like terms. So 0.18 minus 0.10 would give us 0.08x plus 2 equals 3. And then we need to get this part by itself, the variable. So we're going to have to move this 2. And again, to do that, we just do the opposite. So we subtract 2 from each side. And again, these two opposite signs, same number, they cancel. So we're left with 0.08x equals 3 minus 2 gives us 1. And again, to get x by itself, the variable, you divide by what's in front. So divide by 0.08, divide both sides. These will cancel, and x is going to equal 1 divided by 0.08, which happens to be 12.5. So we would need 12.5 gallons of, that's 12.5 gallons of the 18% solution mixed with the 10% to end up with 15% solution and 20 gallons of it. So those are the two common mixture problems. So I hope this helped. Thank you.